Hey, Mike. Hey, Lou.
Hey, Jace.
Hi,
Hey,
Jason.
I got one for you today. A 170-year-old fashion house. We're going to expect going from tech startups with robotic software to Louis Vuitton, which we all have an impression of what Louis Vuitton is. And in everybody's mind, that's heritage, luggage. It's luxury. Did you guys hear about the Pharrell collaboration for the spring-summer 2027 launch?
I think I saw a couple images of it, but I don't know a ton about it.
So check
So,
this out. This is a story about the power of collaboration. It's if you hand the keys to a visionary like Pharrell, everything he does is really crafted and thoughtful, conceptual, and has a story. And he brings a whole world view with him of nature, sustainability in the skate and surf subculture for Louis Vuitton, and things that have nothing to do with a 19th century trunk maker that has exploded to the fashion icon that they are for a century. He created this installation, and this is called Dandy Experience. It's built on travel, on craft, and self-expression, things that a surfer knows and loves. The wave was not just a backdrop. The surfer's world and the luxury houses, it's kind of all fused to one. And here's what I find fascinating about it. This mission does not feel authentic to Louis Vuitton. If I told you that this is a story about sustainability, this is a story about regeneration of a coral reef in French Polynesia, you'd be like, well, Louis Vuitton, that's kind of weird. But it's authentic through the collaboration with Pharrell. He's the one who bends the brand and scales it in a different way. So you see in the details, this water is massive. The water comes from Eau de Paris, which is their utility company. And it's a closed loop and it goes back into the city. So all this water, nothing's wasted. All this sand, it's being donated to the public volleyball courts in Paris. And all the proceeds and funds raised on this fashion show are going to an organization called Coral Gardeners, this organization here, that under the brand's Regeneration 2030 plan, they're planting thousands of coral reefs in French Polynesia. And this mission's not a press release. It's really built into how the show was made. And this is Pharrell's vision. I'm going to go back to this video because I think it's rad. A mission is not like a line in the sand, pun intended. Same mission can feel hollow from one brand, but feel pretty powerful and connected from another. But I think what changes this vibration behind this moment with Louis Vuitton is with the right person carrying the mission and the vision is a statement, and a brand can flex in ways that are unexpected. I dove into a little bit about why he called it the Dandy Experience. So Dandy it's a person who lives the lifestyle of high fashion, and that has a lot to do with craft and travel and aesthetic and self-expression. And he connects the culture of a dandy to the subculture of a surfer. I thought that was really tasteful, the way he did it here. I'd love to hear what you think of this.
this is awesome. There is also a tie into Black culture about dandyism. In Black
Mhm.
culture, a dandy is where Black men are wearing super immaculate and tailored clothing, and how they use self-expression and their pride is extremely strong. There's also another tie-in to that side of this, as Pharrell, a Black man who's a creative director of this old and reputable fashion company, that there's this other tie-in that seems to be a really strong and beautiful expression. And like you're saying, it allows them to flex the brand in a way that feels more authentic. There's a general sense in the fashion industry as a whole that almost like cosplaying, they appropriate a subculture. But in an instance like this, with a collaboration with someone like Pharrell, who's a Black man who also owns or is a big financial backer of a wave pool in Virginia, this actually has even more of an intrinsic tie-in into why this makes sense for what they're doing here.
And that's where he grew up. He grew up in Virginia Beach. So we've talked about community in this series, and it goes back to community.
On the point of community, historically speaking, I can't really think of an industry that's felt more closed off to broader communities than high fashion. It's been incredibly inaccessible. So the fact that this shucks a lot of that and then also has the additional layer of sustainability and that additional layer of giving back, this rejects a lot of what we know high fashion to be, even as the industry has evolved. It's very on the nose.
The sustainability side of that is probably the most interesting part of this to me. Just from looking at this, it obviously is extremely grandiose and gigantic. And you would think, holy crap, how much money did they spend on something like this? And production wise, I'm sure that they did. It's obvious that they did in terms of the set design and the overall production. But to have that sustainability angle to it that you were saying, this water is regenerated and pumped back into the eau de Paris, is really cool. It's a brand standing by a mission and showing it in a way where they can still do what they're meant to do, which is put on a really cool show, but at the same time have a mission behind it that they actually stand behind. To further that point, they're then taking the proceeds of the sales of this and putting them into that coral company.
There's a couple more things to mention too. On Instagram, I saw people calling out Louis Vuitton, being like, well, you're trying to do a message about sustainability and you just wasted all this water and look what you did. This hurts the environment. And then people are like, wait, hold my beer. Actually, it's all very thoughtful and crafted to a mission to help the surfing community. So additionally, among these people walking are real world-class surfers like Julian Wilson, who's an Australian surfer in the Gold Coast, and regeneration project that they're doing that's helping a coral reef off the coast of Tahiti. In August, there is a surfing competition called the Tahiti Pro, and the surfers are going to be checking on the restoration project of the coral reef too. It's not an event. It's more of a platform for the culture of surfing and the regeneration of the reefs. And on the backdrop of something so massive, just visually, look how they put the camera so high up, which is not usually what you see in a fashion show. And there's purpose to that. There's these drone shots here to make everybody look so small and to show the scale of the set that they created.
Flipping the hierarchy of what a fashion show is about. It should normally be about the clothes that the models are wearing. That's what they're trying to do, in effect, is sell the clothing and the merchandise that they're showing off. But they're flipping the hierarchy, not only in these camera shots of how they're angling it. You can't even really tell what some of the models are wearing because it's so wide, but also in the scale of that wave. That's actually the bigger mission and the thing that they're trying to show off here, almost more so than the fashion itself.
It's a message that only Pharrell could have gotten away with. Jason, back to your point of this doesn't feel like Louis Vuitton, but it feels like Pharrell. Pharrell has a company that he oversees the production of textiles that are all made out of plastic pollution that is fished out of the ocean. I want to say it was founded in either 2009 or 2010. It just goes to show that this isn't a fad for him that he just did with Louis Vuitton. He has a very long history of being dedicated to these kinds of causes. That's so juxtaposed with high fashion in and of itself. It is such a polar opposite message to bring to the high fashion world that only he could have brought to Louis Vuitton and then sold in a way that doesn't feel manufactured.
Yeah, his first show that he did with Louis Vuitton, because he's creative director over there, was around water too. He called it the drop house. So many elements of sustainability here. The benches that all these people are sitting on were repurposed from that event.
That's interesting. Going back to that same point of sustainability, 99% of these shows, the props and the production set is just tossed the next day. That's true in these and in movies and commercial sets. It's almost always dumpstered.
Look at the Zaras of the worlds and the H&Ms and the fast fashion of rinse and repeat, change it out every season, throw it away. This is the opposite. What's the opposite of fast? Craft. This is craft, and crafting a message, a mission, and a line around it from a community he's part of.
Just for fun, I went and looked on their site. They do sell a Louis Vuitton surfboard. Any guesses at price point?
Ooh.
Oh, God. I would say, I don't know, is it $10,000?
I'm going to say 6,000.
$15,300. And they're out of stock.
No, you're joking.
Yeah. You don't buy that surfboard to take it in the ocean.
No.
No, it's an art piece. Put it in your living room.
Yeah. You hang it up, you lean it against a beautiful wall. Here's the issue with this. This is a moment for the brand that Pharrell crafted. What happens after this? Can Louis Vuitton keep it up, or do they disappoint the community that they're representing here?
I mean, my
What
question for
happens
you
then?
guys, when a brand deviates this much from historically what they're known for, does it alienate the consumers that they've relied on for so long? And then is this powerful enough to bring in a whole different group of people for them to lump in to their consumers? I'm not doubting by any means that this isn't effective and beautiful. It is in many ways. But is it sustainable for the brand, or does it feel performative ultimately at the end of the day?
I don't think there's any downside if you can do it authentically. If this wasn't authentic and it felt like greenwashing, this would have a different narrative to it. But because this feels authentic from how it's crafted, there's no downside. And if there's no downside, I don't think it alienates anybody. It just invites more people in. But this is also a trend that you see in high fashion of different fashion houses flexing and trying to create more of the streetwear culture and enter more into subcultures. My question is, people who fall in love with this moment, are they falling in love with the collaboration, or are they falling in love with the brand?
It's the question between the reach and the target. I can almost guarantee that, let's say 100 people this reached, maybe one of those people is going to be at home buying the clothes. But I don't think it's even about that at this point. He didn't make this show and this spectacle to necessarily sell those clothes. And I can almost guarantee you that no one in the true surf community is going to be, like you said, buying that surfboard to surf or buying these wetsuits to go into the ocean and ruin it with salt water. And he's obviously very aware of that. This play is more about the reach and getting people like us to talk about it because the spectacle is so cool and so amazing. And the message and the mission are strongly connected to what the spectacle is. I think that the target audience is separate math equation at that point.
To go back to your point, Jason, of where does Louis Vuitton go from here? It does make me wonder, especially in the age of consumerism where people are so aware of what they're buying, how it's made, its carbon footprint, its environmental impact. It does make me wonder if Louis Vuitton is considering making their operations more sustainable to align with such a high profile collaboration. It'll be interesting to see if this show impacts how the company moves. It's a very large deviation.
Absolutely. Such an ambitious project.
It's really cool. Visually, it's insane. The
Yeah.
scale as well is enormous.
As a set design, it's one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time.
I always wonder where they get these open Coliseum type spots to even install something like that. The production value is insane.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine how that meeting went for being like, I want to create this insane wave, make it
Well,
happen.
Yeah, and I want it to be 100 feet tall.
Yeah, Godspeed.
100% going to a team with a sketch of like, everybody's going to walk out of a pipe wave. Oh, cool. Okay. We can do some kind of water installation, waterfall in the background,
Green
and
screen.
yeah, like LED screen. He's like,
Mhm.
no. We're going to pump water over everybody. And they're going to be on a beach that we create with real sand. And it's going to be 30 feet tall.
These
Like,
are the kind of reasons why companies hire someone like Pharrell to have that vision, because that's just something that so few people can draw up and dream in that kind of meeting where you just get blank stares or dropped jaw of like, how the hell are we going to pull something like that off? But
mhm.
it's really cool. I found the production company. Check this out. Bureau Betak. Look at this. Look how crazy that show is inside of a corn maze.
They're a French production company. It's a high fashion, experiential set design
Look at this
company.
Dior one.
Oh my gosh.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
So
So,
this is their turf. They know what they're doing.
oh yeah. It looks like they do a lot of stuff in Paris. There's a bunch of stuff outside the Eiffel Tower. Look at it. That's so rad. Upside down palm trees.
Bringing this back to AI a little bit, there's so much craft. I expect you hire the best people in the world to make what we're seeing here. This company is just the epitome of fashion and craft. These ideas are so wild, and you still got to sell them. You still got to have the money and the budget for it. AI is a conceptual tool. That's where it comes in here. It's like,
100%.
mocking all this up, blocking it, creating the diagrams, the design, the specs, the mechanicals. There's no blueprint to create any of this.
With the tools at our disposal now as creatives, it almost becomes another creative in the room with you. You can have a base idea for something. This is a lot how I've been working with it. We have kind of a base idea that we prompt into any VLM or LLM, and it helps expand your idea from something that you never originally thought of what it was. That's probably the case with a lot of this. If you hit the same prompt 4 times and you get 8 generations, I can say personally it's happened to me where I go, whoa, that's sweet. I didn't have that idea. But now that ChatGPT 2 or Recraft showed me something deeper and an extension of my idea, it feels like it's another creative partner in the room with you that's helping you improve upon your ideas.
The scariest thing for any creative is the blank page, just getting past the blank page a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Well said. Thanks for sharing that one,
Yeah,
Jason. That was
that
awesome.
was really cool. So many
Yeah.
layers.
So many layers and just trying to find different things every week.
Yeah, we've done tech, we've done food, we've done packaged goods. We're now into high fashion. What's next?
Okay, so this means that to our repertoire of merch, we're going to add a $15,000 surfboard.
I don't know if we'll get the budget approval for that, but we can ask.
All right, Prem, email will be sent out.
We would like
Company
one each. You know how I said I wanted to put together the most epic goodie bags for the Marcoms team? We might have to leave this one out.
Yeah.
Maybe a vial of sand. Maybe just a vial of sand.
We could include a picture of the surfboard.
There you go.
I'll print some out.
There you go. A card that there was a donation made in your name to Coral Gardens.
That's a good idea.
Oh,
Maybe
that's a
what it
really
is.
good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
It's a cool company. I was doing some research on them. Really cool company that does some incredible work.
This was great. Thanks for sharing.